Good morning, everybody. It's time for another How To Tuesday, and this one I am super excited about because we're going to show you how to change your engine oil, and that is something that you guys can even do on your own. If you don't want to do it, you can always bring it down to us. We are more than happy to do that for you. And today I have my friend Colton. We call him Colton. His real name's Colton, but you can call him whatever you'd like. But he is our quick lube technician, and he is going to walk us through an oil change. So Colton, why don't you show us how it's done?
All right, so first thing I like to do is check the current oil, see if there's anything in it or how low it is, or if anything's abnormal, then just a regular oil change. And once that's done, I like to open it just so it drains better when we're up on top, and then we'll raise the car.
And we're cheating a little bit because we're using a lift. So if you guys are doing it in your driveway, they make some stands or some jack stands, just raise it up a little bit. It'll really help you out with that room.
Alright, so once you're down in here, you want to look for an abnormally big bolt that's just not, that wouldn't be attached to anything. That'll be the drain plug. So right here, it's just it wouldn't be attached to anything. So you see that'll be where it drained from. It's usually a lot bigger than all the bolts around it. So you just need to find the size and you're gonna drain it that way.
Perfect, yep. So this side is your engine oil pan. This side over here doesn't have a transmission pan, but that's your transmission. So you can kind of look for something that's shaped a little bit oblong, kind of like that, a little funky. And up here is your oil filter. A lot of times they'll hide these oil filters from you. If you have a hard time finding it and you're trying to do it on your own, just give us a shout. We can help you out and we'll let you know where that oil filter is.
You've got a...
So before you drain the oil, guys, I'd make sure your engine's a little bit cooled off because that oil can get pretty hot. And if it spills on you and it's hot, it's gonna burn you just a little bit. So just be a little bit patient before you do it. Let your engine cool off and then dive right into it.
All right, so at all.
Just like that. Something else that we like to do here is we like to kind of look at the drain plug gasket. And that's that little ring right there. A little hard to see because it's been mashed down a little bit. We just kind of check to see if it has any tears in it or any cracks. That looks pretty good, so we don't have to worry about that.
Oil out. So if you wait for a drip, you're going to be waiting 4 or 5 hours for it to completely stop dripping. So right here, this is enough oil where it's just a slight pour, and it'll be okay to have that. So you don't have to wait for it to completely stop dripping, essentially. All right, so once you get tight, you want it to the point where it doesn't move anymore, and then just a little bit more. You don't want to go too tight because you'll end up stripping the metal on the inside or the bolt itself, and that's a lot more work than just changing your oil. That's a new pan pretty much.
I think the Hulk might have put this oil filter on. It's pretty tight.
The tool looks like this. It'll grab it, and when you pull, it'll get tighter and tighter as you pull. And these things are cheap. You can get them at Harbor Freight for under $10.
So just loosen the oil filter just enough so you can take it off by hand and then put your bucket back underneath it because there's still going to be some oil in there. Look at all that, it was stuck in there. Okay, this is the most important part. I need you all to pay very close attention right here because if you don't do this, that oil filter is going to be a bear to get off.
So first, you want to clean the outside of the oil filter area and make sure the old gasket is not on there. And if it is on there, just take it off. Otherwise, it'll leak like no other, and you'll always have oil leaks. The next thing, the important part, you always want to take a little bit of oil and go right around the gasket so that it's easier to come off. Otherwise, it'll be stuck on there, and it's a lot harder to get off.
So when you're tightening it, you're gonna wanna tighten it by hand until it kind of stops. That means it's seated against the engine. But then you're gonna go about a quarter turn more with your hand just to make sure it's seated properly and it's not gonna cause you any leaks.
Quarter of a turn right there.
Right there.
And at this point, you can lower the vehicle and we can start filling the engine.
Did you see what Colton did right there? He wiped off any oil drips, double checked everything. That's what we want to do so you don't have any oil drips in your driveway. The point where we're going to cheat, because we have these wicked cool little oil guns that are going to put a 530 synthetic blend oil into that engine for us.
Before you do your oil change, you want to figure out what kind of oil you need, because just any oil, it does matter, because it'll be what the thickness of the oil, and if it's like in the winter, some of them will be harder to warm up, and it'll make your engine work a lot harder than it actually has to. So you want to make sure you have the right kind of oil before you start this.
If you don't know what kind of oil your vehicle takes, oftentimes it'll tell you on the oil cap, and if it doesn't tell you there, you can always check on your owner's manual. It should list it there for you. And if you don't have your owner's manual, give us a call and we'll let you know what kind of oil your vehicle requires. So when you're all doing your own oil changes, you're not going to have that really cool little oil gun there. You might have containers that kind of look like this, and that is okay. Just make sure you get the right amount and it's the right oil. And if you're going to use stuff like this, I would recommend you use a funnel to make sure you don't make any messes. We don't like messes. It's tough to clean up at the shop, really hard to clean up in your driveway.
Alright, so once the oil is actually filled, you want to start the car and give it like 10 seconds of running so you're able to check it. If you check it without starting the engine, all the oil is still just in there, it's not everywhere. So it's going to seem higher than it actually is. Once the engine starts, all the oil just like distributes all over the engine, and it'll actually get lower just because it's all in the engine.
When you do that, you can keep an eye on your dashboard and make sure your oil pressure gauge jumps up after a few seconds. If you have an oil pressure light, make sure that turns off after a few seconds, and then take a look underneath your vehicle and make sure there's no leaks.
Alright, so when you check it, you want to grab it, wipe it off, because it'll be all over the place. And when you grab it the second time, it'll actually show you the level. So the two holes, sometimes they're like hexed out. You want it between these two lines. The higher, it means full, but if it's within like halfway or up, it's usually pretty good. If not, just add half a quart or so. From the bottom one to the top one is about 1 quart, so it'll give you approximation how much you actually need.
Alright, so we double checked our oil level. We don't need to add any more oil. Let's take a peek underneath this vehicle. Nothing down there. No oil leaks. Another amazing oil change done by Colton. And that's how you guys do it. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd be more than happy to walk you through the whole process. Again, if you need to, if you have any questions, give us a call, shoot us an email, whatever you guys need, we're here for you. Say thanks to Colton. He worked hard to do this video for you guys.
Try my best.